Hey guys, so before I start things off here, I just want to say that I didn't want to have to make this video. I had really hoped the drama surrounding this was dead by now and that I could move on from it for good, but apparently that's not the case, as has been proven multiple times over the past couple of months. What I'm referring to with this is not just the Bergadaz situation from a while ago, but also how every now and then I'll get replies or comments from random people I've never heard of in my life, pointing out how I supposedly leaked Aeternus. Now, with the situation they're referencing aside, I don't even know where they heard this from or what else they were told, so I'm just left somewhat frustrated trying to talk to these people. Now, it's been a long time since all of this originally happened, but my goal with this video is mostly to explain what happened, or my side of the story, so to speak, just to clear the air. Now, this all started in May of 2023, when the last part of iTurnus was leaked publicly on Twitter, I believe by a guy named T. I can't find this tweet now, I believe it's been deleted, but if I remember correctly, it was just Bergadaz's original iteration of the last part. Keep in mind, this was after Riot had publicly teased the level on his channel with the cryptic montage thing, amid the Space UK hacking situation. Now I made a tweet with my thoughts on the level as well as a small detail I noticed regarding its name as it had not officially been revealed yet. A few hours later, I got a DM from someone who had liked the tweet in question. For the sake of this video and for this person's privacy, I will not mention who it was as it's not necessary, but I would later find out they were a friend of Burgadaz17 who had sent them the video, since he was involved in the project and therefore was the one originally given access to it. Now you'll see I was initially sent a YouTube link that didn't work. When they realized this, they sent me a video file as they had downloaded it from YouTube preemptively. They have since gone back and deleted this video, which is why there's no attachment here in the screenshot, but at this point I had seen it and had access to the video. Now I knew I wasn't supposed to have the video, but this is where I made mistakes. I sent it around carelessly anyway. I don't remember exactly to who, but at some point another friend of mine made a certain SpongeBob edit of the video. If you haven't already seen it, I'll link it down below, but I don't want to show it here, as even though it is admittedly somewhat funny to look back on, I'm trying to address the situation seriously, and I don't want to take away from that. But anyways, getting back to this SpongeBob edit, I thought it was so funny that I impulsively went ahead and posted it on Twitter with the caption, "This AI SpongeBob shit is getting really weird." Because at the time, in 2023, there was a very popular 24/7 live AI-generated SpongeBob prompt thing that you could do. It was a whole channel. Now, yeah, this was absolutely not the right thing to do. A surprising amount of people have surprisingly tried to tell me that I was actually in the right, because some of those involved in Aeternus are not exactly the most honorable themselves. This is mostly referring to Ryamu and Deadlocks, although I'd like to think both have changed for the better since then. And while I don't necessarily disagree with the people who have said this, that does not make what I did justified. This only applies further when considering that there were other creators involved who are completely fine as people, and this affected how their work was viewed initially by the public. I deleted the tweet after a few hours because I realized what I did was wrong. I still got a lot of backlash though, and I honestly deserved it. As the saying goes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Over time though, I just tried to move on from it. We all make mistakes, and this was one I didn't intend to make again. So that was until a few months later, in October. I can't find what led to this, but to the best of my memory, I believe Bergadaz randomly tagged me in some reply chain on Twitter. He was mad, and he eventually DM'd me on Discord, and he was quite upset about it still, which was honestly justified. I hadn't ever directly spoken with him, so it was understandable. However, when I was talking with him, I didn't understand him at first, because to me, this was all already said and done, and I didn't understand why he had waited so long to talk things out with me. I was willing to take his side of the argument at the time, because I did feel responsible in the end, but I still didn't know what exactly he meant at first. Now from there, we did have a somewhat productive conversation actually, after getting past the initial misunderstandings. I was willing to accept what was full responsibility in his view, and he proceeded to make a group chat with me in Ice Cave. From there, I apologized to Ice directly, since I now had a means of talking to him after he blocked me. I had thought he was mad at me this whole time since he'd messaged me before blocking me on Twitter. I felt like shit for what I did. But we talked it out, and thankfully he was forgiving and understanding. Now a side note, for what it's worth, I know he gets a lot of hate for being edgy and such, but I will say that from my own experience, I think Ice Cave is a pretty reasonable, chill guy. I'm not even close friends with him or anything. I have nothing to gain by saying this, but I do think that the amount of shit he gets, even to this day, is pretty unwarranted. With that out of the way, this was all said and done, and 2024 went by. Now that was until April 5th, 2025. On this day, Burgadaz17 changed the video title of his grief part to, well, this. I no longer have a copy of the description since the video has now been deleted, but he basically went on a rant there saying I caused the whole thing and that I quote-unquote got off scot-free while he had to deal with the consequences. This tweet by Doggy sums up what his description said pretty well. After that happened, I made a whole thread addressing my implication in this. Even though it goes without saying that everything Burgadaz said and did here is childish and ridiculous, I felt a need to respond to it to defend myself because I was mentioned, and he said things in that description which just were not true, and some people actually believed them. Now, while I feel I absolutely could have worded what I said better here, the point of what I was trying to say still stays the same. Did I publicly post a video of the level in a joking, performative manner? Yes. Was it wrong to do so, despite me not having direct involvement with the level? Absolutely. But did I leak the level in the first place? No. And that's where his description spread misinformation. While I don't recall most of his description, the one key takeaway I had for it was that he worded it explicitly as if I was actually trusted with the project just as he was, when this is simply not the case. Burgadaz was the one who was invited to and participated in Aeternus, and he betrayed the trust he was given by sending it to his friend, who then proceeded to send it to me and several others. Ice Cave himself was even then able to recognize the situation. The level already was leaked beyond containment by the time I was sent the video of it. It was Burgadaz's fault that it happened in the first place, and accordingly, since he had actual involvement in both Aeternus and Grief, Ice Cave handled things how he felt appropriate. And yet, despite all of this, here I am, 2 years after I made this one mistake, with random people I don't know still on my ass for this. That being said, I should clarify, in the current context, it's not for no reason or just out of the blue. See, just today, as you may or may not know, FNM04 decided to leak Banshee, the upcoming top demon by Necrodox and Comp. He deliberately did this, uploading a showcase to YouTube with the level ID as the title, and his usual thumbnail style, with that ID linking to a leaked copy of the level, the same one shown in the video. Shortly after this went live, FNM tweeted, "I hold no grudges against anyone in particular," confirming he actually made this decision consciously and with ill intent. Now, the full details of why exactly he did this have not yet emerged, so I won't go into why specifically he did this here, as I am not yet sure, despite some rumors circulating. However, after reading into the situation a little bit more, Nitro revealed that FNM had a copy for a while before this happened because someone who was trusted with the level directly gave it to him and admitted to it. Now, I ended up replying to FNM's post clowning on him, kind of lightheartedly saying he should read some books, but then all of a sudden I get people bringing up the Aeternus thing again, calling me a hypocrite and whatnot. Again, this was one mistake I made 2 years ago, not to mention it was its own situation entirely. I have tried to move on from my own mistake, as I realized what I did was wrong, and it has been quite a while since then. Yet despite this, people keep bringing it up when I have not done anything of the sort since then and just wish to exist in the community. So let me pose the question. If it's hypocritical for me to call someone out for doing something wrong that I have done something similar to in the past, then how does anyone learn from anything ever? Especially in FNM's case, he has been around long enough to witness many level leaking situations, not to mention he has been trusted with plenty of levels over the years, as a trusted, respected showcaser in the community. In his position, should he be expected to know better than this? Absolutely. So why is it that when I see something like this, I end up getting attacked just as equally? In the end, I don't expect this video to stop people from bringing up what I did, since it did happen nonetheless. I do, however, hope that it clears the air about what actually happened here, because it seems that thanks to the wildfires of misinformation that get spread around these days, people all of a sudden think I'm some evil leaker who sells out everyone I come across. And don't get me wrong, I may be a lot of things. I'm your default settings white kid, I'm an absolute cornball, I have terrible social anxiety, I'm a horrible procrastinator, I can be an absolute pain in the ass to deal with at times, and I often act on impulse and say shit I don't mean. Am I guilty of all of that? Absolutely. Sue me. However, I am not someone who sells out other people's work whenever I get my hands on it, especially not because of a single mistake I made 2 years ago. The only reason I'm still here playing this game is because it's my passion, and I have no intentions of stopping anytime soon. I don't have anything to gain by leaking levels at this point. I've let that run its course, and I just want to do my own thing now. Likewise, I hope that everyone else I mentioned in this video, whether they were in the right or the wrong, has or can eventually learn something from the aforementioned situations. Anyways, that's about all I have to say in this video. I don't know if I'll make more like this one, as this is meant to be just a one-off, but I could transition more into making actual content in the future, as it is something I feel I have not explored yet, as I'm just too lazy to actually go through with it most of the time. But who knows, maybe one day if I'm really inspired that will change. So yeah, that's all. Thank you guys for watching, and have a nice rest of your day.